Ibu Kebun. Thank you for joining this sharing session with John Jandai, founder Pun Pun Farming Community Thailand. And Mr. John Jandai, welcome. Very nice to meet
Hello.
you. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
And I would like explain the rules first about this session. And first of all, please everybody mute the microphone during sharing session. And don't worry, we have 3 session Q&A. Please type on the chat box if you want asking the question. And the moderator will choose the first question. And the chosen one could unmute the microphone and ask the question directly. And today's agenda is first, introduction komunitas Seribu Kebun. And the second, introduction kebun belakang. And the third session is sharing session with John Jandai. And the fourth session is Q&A. Before we start this session, I would like to introduce komunitas Seribu Kebun. Maybe there's another participant, they don't know about our community. So our community, Komunitas Seribu Kebun, is a community with environmental concern and passion of organic farming with the vision of raising the public health and environmental awareness. The community areas of concern range from encouraging the people to consume and farm organic products, making use of neglected lands to become edible gardens, promoting healthier lifestyle, creating easier access to healthier and more environmental friendly products, which in return will help the society itself to prosper. It's also interesting to note that the members of the community have different backgrounds and very diverse, such as farmers, pensioners, environmental activists, lecturers, and many more. In order to implement its vision, the community has several supporting programs, including Pasar Sehat or Healthy Market, organic workshop, trip to organic farm and garden, and we have Warung Seribu Kebun, which is a small shop as a marketplace that serve many local products. And now we are focused on building community called Seni Tani. We are focused on 1 year ahead. And what is Seni Tani exactly? The background is community Seribu Kebun based on Bandung City, West Java, and we take the community garden in Sukamiskin Subdistrict. Why we choose this? Because in Sukamiskin area is inhabited by the middle and upper economic society. But unfortunately, according to BPS data, out of 23,000 residents of Sukamiskin, there's 4% of them fall into the weak economic category. And community garden Seni Tani is not only just community garden, but we have a purpose to empowering movement that involves urban youth to be green leaders through urban farming activities in Sukamiskin subdistrict. And we can look at this land. There's so many unused plot of land, and it can be potentially used by citizens. So during October until November, we've changed into the rice bed so we can start to make it as potential land to be planted. And now we have more than 160 meter square unused plot of land. We plan to create an area to be used as a place to give mentorship training programs for the urban youth from Sukamiskin sub-district. So they can upgrade their skill to make a green movement on their surrounding environment. And this is the area of review for community garden Seni Tani at the unused plot of land near Sukamiskin subdistrict. And we focus on 1 year ahead on January to November 2021. And if you want to know about Komunitas Ribu Kebun more information, you can get our Instagram. You can go to our Instagram at Komunitas Ribu Kebun, or you can go to our website at Ribu Kebun or 1000kebun.org. Okay, I think that's all. And to become efficient, I think that's all. So we have a Kang Misbah as moderator now. So Kang Misbah, the time is yours.
Yes, thank you, Panya, and hello everybody. My name is Mason. We have a very special right now. We have the co-founder of Pan Organic Farm. He's well known because of his nice concept about the easy living. But before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Misbah, and I would like to share about my activity. I'm a farmer. We started 5 years ago, and we make this event. I would like to introduce you all to John Jandai, or we also usually call him Ijo. I think everybody already know about him, but I will try to uh, say like a short biography about John Jandai. So John Jandai, at least for me, is like a hero, uh, like a living legend to me. And I was lucky I could meet him in 2018 when I was in Pan as volunteer at the time. So John Jandai is from Yasothon province, Thailand, and he began building earthen home on his family farm in 1997. John's TED Talk, uh, entitled "Life is Easy, Why Do We Make It Hard?" has now been viewed over 5 million times. He shares his perspective and his definition of happiness. He stresses the importance of balance and well-being in one's life. John talks often raise questions about self-reliance, sustainability of natural resources, and real value of personal economics. He believes everyone has a choice, and the choice should be to make life easy. He co-founded Panpan in 2003 and is most interested in preserving heritage in seeds. Jun Jandai has since started a center for self-reliance and now conducts regular workshops and events for guests who want to learn from him and his team about self-reliant living, organic gardening, community living, natural building, and natural health. I think that's what I can tell about Pijo. And so, how are you, Pijo?
Good. How are you?
Did I say about you correctly, or is there something that you need to tell more about you?
Yeah, I think that's good. That's good.
So yeah, I think it's very nice to meet you, and thank you very much that you are willing to join this sharing session with the Indonesian participant. I I guess this is your first time talking to Indonesian participants.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah,
Or
yeah. It's the first time I haven't been here yet. So I came
okay.
nearby, like in Malaysia and Singapore, but never come to Indonesian yet.
So yeah, maybe hopefully in the future you can come to Indonesia and meet because I think here many people already know about you and what you've been done and you did, and they are very interesting about
Mm.
the concept of simple life and also about the natural building as well. So I think I would like to know actually about the Pan Pan itself. You started Pan Pan in 2003. Before that, I think you already stay in that place, right?
Uh, Before that, I live in the northeastern of Thailand in Yasothon. It's like close to Laos border.
Ah,
And
I
that
see.
area is the driest area of the country. So before that, I did a lot of earthen building. I travel a lot of everywhere in Thailand to do earthen building workshop. But after 5 years later, I think about to stop doing building because the knowledge of building is everywhere. People can learn easily, and then anybody can learn, anybody can build a house. But the most important thing is the seeds disappear every day, never come back. Seeds is food, food is life. So when we have no seeds, how can we have a good life? So I think about to stop building and turn to seed saving after that. That's why I'm looking for a piece of land in Chiang Mai, northern of Thailand, and then start Pan Pan there. That's 17 years already now. Yeah.
Wow. So can you tell me about the activities that the Pan Pan, those who live in Pan Pan, and because when I tell this to my friends, they are very amazed because uh, people there is not like blood related relation. So I think there are so many people that come from different nationalities and also from different area in Thailand, and how they could actually work together as a family, I think. So can you tell me about the Pan Pan and the activity, what people do actually there?
At Pan Pan, the main aim of Pan Pan is to do seed saving. So everybody who come to Pan Pan, they know that we do seed saving. And then the second aim is to do learn is a learning center. But the meaning of learning center is not for people from outside to come and learn, but mainly is for people who live there need to learn how to be self-reliant. So people learn a lot in many things. Like we learn how to do everything that we use in daily life. So we learn mainly about the four basic needs. Food, we need to know how to grow food, how to cook food, how to cultivate whatever we want to eat. We learn about building. I, we think everybody need to be able to build their own shelter, their own houses, because it must be cheap and easy for everybody. Because it used to be cheap and easy for many generations. So we think if we can go back to live in that way, it will empower people more. So another thing is daily needs. Because we spend so much money for what we use in daily life, like a soap, shampoo, detergent, and then sauce and everything like that. So we just try to learn how to do this thing ourselves more and more, because many times when we buy something, we buy packaging more than buy what we want. Like we buy uh, some sauce or some soap or shampoo or something like that. So the cost of the bottle, the cost of packaging is more expensive than the cost of shampoo that we need. So I think that's not the way that is sustain ourselves. So when we learn how to do our own daily needs, we don't need a lot of packaging. It make it a lot cheaper. We save more money in that way. And then the last thing is about self healing. when we get sick, how can we help ourselves in the basic thing? Because normally we were trained to rely on doctors only, rely on hospital. Even tiny thing happen, we need to travel a long way, far way to go to stand in the line, long line all day, just to see the doctor for 15 minutes or 5 minutes. So if we learn how to take care ourselves in the basic thing, we don't need to travel a lot, and then we can help ourselves more. So this is the main thing that we learn at Pan Pan, learn about the 4 basic needs. I think if we can rely on ourselves in these 4 basic needs, we will have less fear, less worry in our life. We will feel more secure than what we feel now. So basic 4 basic needs is like roots of life. But education system now, they cut our roots off. So we have no roots. We don't know how to find, how to access to the 4 basic needs easily. And then that's why we have more fear, more worry in our life. So this is the what we learn at Pan Pan as about the 4 basic needs mainly. And then when many people come stay together, people come from different places, different country, different religions, different sects. So we learn how to be together, respect together. I think it's quite fun to learn to be together because we were disconnected for a long, long time. We were disconnected when we were born. They forced us to send our kids to school. That's the way they disconnected at the first time. And then when the kids go to the school, they have no connection with their parents anymore. And then when they grew up, they have no connection. They don't care anybody. They don't know what is love. So we need to learn how to connect, reconnect it together again. So in the farm at Pan Pan, we learn how to be together by we live together with no rules, no discipline, and no leader. So this part, it helps us to understand ourselves more and more. When we have no rules, no discipline, we start to have more common sense. When we use more common sense, we understand each other easier. We can live together better. And then we feel more freedom because we have less rules in our life. And then when we have no leader, everybody have a chance to be a leader. So everybody can develop themselves to be a leader. So this is the way we learn here. So we think about we have to find a way to make things easier and easier because the way we do now, everything just make it more complicated and harder and harder. So to learn here, we learn so much. We learn a lot so far. So that's what activity we do normally. I can't hear you now. Did you mute?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So actually, so how is the relationship between the Panpan residents with uh, like with the villagers, with the those who live near Panpan?
Uh, we did not try to connect with them much. We try in the beginning, but we know that they don't interested in the way that we doing. So we not try again after that. But there's more people who came from far away. They're interested about what we are doing. So we just focus on people who want it. So we work with people who need it. We give food to people who are hungry, but we don't force them to eat if they're not hungry. So that's why we did not work much with them uh, at the beginning. We try, but when we know that they're not interested in, so we stop doing that after that. And now we have more time to work with people from different places that they interested in what we are doing. So this work well and easier for us now. And then it's spreading all over the country now. We have a lot of network every part of the country. That's quite relaxed for us to work with people who love what we're doing.
Okay. You mentioned as well when you talk about panpan, you also talk about the seeds. I think panpan already try to save seed and share seeds to everyone who needs it. But then, as you said, seeds is life. It is very important. But then, I think in Indonesia, for example, farmers, mostly those who, you know, uh, use farming as their main income, they often use seeds that mostly like hybrid or perhaps maybe yeah, they never really reproduce again the seeds. And even they have the local seeds, they are not interested in planting the seeds. But I think the seeds will have values if we grow it. So what do you think about that? About the farmers?
I think it's happened everywhere in the world. This is a new slavery system, the new era of colonization system, because it's a few company who involved with this thing, and then they train people to use their seed only, and then they own the market, their own supermarket, their own seed business. So they want people to buy seed every time when we grow. They want everybody in the world eat only the food that they own seeds only. So they use a lot of media, use a lot of market, use a lot of economic system to train people to eat what they own seeds only. In Thailand, we have 70 million people here, but all of us eat chicken from one company. It's one variety of chicken. We eat a lot of fish in the past, but now all people in the country eat only 3 varieties of freshwater fish. So we don't eat local fish anymore. This is the way they train us to rely on them as much as they can. So everybody become a slave of this company. Whenever we buy food, whenever we eat, that means we send money to them all the time. So this happened all over the world now because there's only a few companies in the world, less than 8 companies. They own more than 80% of food that we eat now. So it's quite dangerous to put our life in the hand of a few companies. So we have no freedom, no happiness. We cannot be independent if we have no seeds in our hand. That's why I feel like everywhere now, farmer become a slave on their land. They work very hard, but all their work just turn uh, their money back to the company. They never get enough for themselves. It's so bad. I feel so sad to see farmers who grow food but have no food to eat. How can that happen? Because they grow only one thing. In Thailand, people grow only corn, grow only cassava, but they don't eat corn, they don't eat cassava. Many people grow rubber, many people grow palm, but none of them eat palm or rubber. So that make them become more poor and in debt more and more because they grow a lot, sell very cheap, and then have less income, but they need to buy expensive food to eat. So this is the main problem. I think it's happened all over the world now because people were trained to not allow to save seeds. If you save local seeds, you cannot sell in the market. So they force you to buy their seeds. And then their seed, they make it into hybrid seed. You need to buy every time you grow. This is the big problem all over. Now, pan pan, we try to collecting local seed or indigenous seeds that they can save seed after they grow. And then we try to organize a market for people who grow local seeds. They can have some place to sell. So I think this is the way we can be free. We can free ourselves from the system that they force us to be now.
Thank you. So another thing that I want to ask you about how Pan Pan try to make network with others, not only as to farmers or those who also live in a more simple way, but also to those who make business. They try to get income with a more fair economic system. So how you try to connect with those people?
We use training as a tool to draw people together. We train consumer and farmer together. So this is the way we reconnect them together again. Because in the past, consumer never know who grow food for them. And farmer, they don't know who they grow their food for. So when we don't know each other, the middle person just take advantage a lot from both sides. So farmers sell very cheap price, consumer buy very expensive price. Nobody get benefit from it. That's in the training we try to show people that if we reconnect together, we will get farmer will get better price, and then consumer will get cheaper price because we have no middle person. So the company gonna be the middle person for everybody. So everybody belong on the company too. So this company belong to a lot of people. So now we have more than 10,000 people bought the share with the company. And we have a lot of farmers involved with us. And we have the small fishermen who have a small fisherman boat. They're fishing around the shore. They don't go so far. So we work with them and help them to make the habitat for fish nearby. So they don't need to go very far. And then we bought the fish from them in the fair price. And then we sell the fish for them. We open the restaurant in Chiang Mai, and then we have another restaurant in Chumphon too, in the south. And then soon we're gonna have another one in Bangkok. So this is the way we try to reconnect people together. And then people from the city went to help fishermen to make a house for the fish in the ocean. So they're happy to see how the fish be caught. And then they know that the fish in the market full of formaldehyde chemical, a kind of chemical. But when they eat the fish with no formaldehyde, they feel like the taste is so excellent, it's so different from normal fish that they normally eat. So they like it more. This is the way when we connect people together, people understand each other more and more, and then they happy to join with us more. So this is the way we're doing now. We use training as the most important tools. We do training every month, at least 2 or 3 training per month now. So a lot of city people want to come to the training because of the COVID-19 that helped us a lot, that forced people to come and learn more, because this way you will survive. If you come back to this way, you don't need to worry about starving. You don't need to worry about crisis anymore. When you have food in your hand, you know people who grow food for you, you feel more secure. So this is the way that we do now.
Wow, that's really a great concept. So it's like a more like a cooperation like that.
Yeah, it's quite similar to cooperative, but we are not cooperative because if because the law in Thailand, if you become cooperative and you need to follow a lot of rules, that many rules is not easy for us. So we decide to be a normal company, but they have a new law came out last year. It's about social enterprise company. So now we become social enterprise company, and then we can sell share in public legally
Oh,
now. It's quite good. So, but this company, we cannot uh, give the profit back to shareholder 100%. We can give profit back only 30% by law here, but 70% we need to do social uh, enterprise. We can use this money for education, for environment, for anything is fine. So I think we're happy with that now.
okay. The other things about you that people are interested about is the concept of simple life that you often share to people. Today in this pandemic situation, I think people started to, at least they start to grow their own food in their backyard, and people started to slow down their tempo and have think again about what they want to do, perhaps after the pandemic, and then so I think your thought about simple life then becoming relevant to them. So can you tell us about that concept, especially related to this pandemic situation?
Yeah, I think the pandemic things is quite important for us because human develop so fast and so far away from ourselves. So the more we develop, we work harder, we more unhappy, we work more for nothing. Everybody work more than 8 hours per day, but their life is not better. It gets worse and worse and worse. They don't even have time to think about what we are eating now. Many people don't even have time to think about family. They have a broken family everywhere in the world because everybody just busy with working. So to make our life easy, just to come back to think about what is the most important thing in our life now. So if we come back and think about this, we will see that the most important thing in our life is our health. Our health is number one. Our family is number two. So instead of working so hard and eat junk food, eat garbage, we have to work and just to make it enough so we can have good food to eat, have time to rest, have time to be with family. In this way, we don't need to work much, but we can enjoy our life more. We can have a good health. And then if we consume less, we will work less. When we work less, the natural resources have enough time to propagate itself to feed us more. But if we work too much, too fast, the natural resources cannot produce enough. It creates a big problem all over the world. It creates a lot of crisis because of the natural resources not balanced anymore. Now we work too much to ruin the good soil, to change the good soil into the dead soil all over the world. We work too much to contaminate the water all over the world until we cannot drink any water anywhere now. We have to buy drinking water to drink. We work too much until we destroy all the forests that we have on this earth. Now we have less than 5% of forests all over the world. So who are we working for? For ourselves? No, we did not work for ourselves. We work for something else. We don't know who they are. We just busy and work hard. We ignore ourselves. Our body need organic food, need the good food. But we just go buy Coke, buy Pepsi, buy garbage to eat, buy chip to eat. So that means we don't care about ourselves at all. And then we don't care our kid. We don't care our family. We just focus on working and working. So our family just broke down after that. So this is what happened now. So Why we have to make our life so complicated, so hard, so difficult like this? For what reason? So it's time to think about it. Why we have to work this much? Just to have enough money to buy garbage to eat per day, every day. That's a shame. So why we don't come back to the soil, to the land, and then work less and then develop the soil to make it better? Whatever you throw, any seed you throw in the soil, they grow back, they grow fast, and they produce a lot for us. And then they can play with our family. Whenever we're hungry, we can grab anything around us and we can eat. I think it's more fun. So I think the COVID-19 make people come back to think about this more and more now. What need it help people to come back to think about why we have to work so much. Even you have a lot of money, but you still eat chicken from the same farm with that contain a very high hormone, chemical, and then antiseptic. If you have the most expensive car, you're still stuck at the traffic light like a normal car. There's nothing different. So why we have to spend the most precious time in our life to do something that we don't need it? So this is what make people come back to think about self-reliant more, think about to make our life easy more, because we work so much for nothing now. We just hurt ourselves, hurt our children, hurt our next generation. How can they survive if they have no good soil, good water, and good plant? So we need to think about it more now. Maybe you unmute again.
Okay, thank you so much, Pijo, for the explanation. Is this the time for question and answer session, Fanya? Uh,
Yes, yes, it's time for Q&A.
okay, great. So, for those who are interested and I want to ask directly to Pijo, can write down on your chat that please write down your name and your location, and then I will choose three person, and then you can ask directly to Pijo about anything that you want to ask to him. So yes, go ahead. Don't be shy. So, Pijo, actually, for those who are interested in living in more simple way, but they don't have access to land, for example, because they stay in big cities, they don't have like big backyard. What should they do? Yeah.
Uh, to live simple in the simple way, you don't need to have lands. The main thing is we need to think about when we buy something, we need to think about, is it because of we like it or because of it's important? If we buy things because of we like it will make our life complicated and harder and work more. But if we buy because of it's important, it's necessary for our life, it will be simple, it will be easy. Because most of our expense in our life now, I think more than 60% we buy for what we like or don't like, but it's not important in our life. So this is the tools that capitalism used to control human, make human become a slave of the money system. They use our emotion, our feeling as a tool to control us. They force us to buy what we don't want it. And then when we buy a lot, we'll be in debt. We have to work more. We have to work harder and harder. But whenever we think about what is the most important thing in our life, if we buy only what is the most necessary thing for our life, we will have easy life immediately. Life will be simple, easy. We will have more saving, more income. It will be easy after that. And then another way is we need to reconnect it with farmer. Because we live in the city, we need more people who live in the city because not everybody have to come to be a farmer. It's impossible. So people have to do different things in our life, but we need to reconnect together again. So if city people, they organize themselves as a company or a co-op or something like that, and then they connect with farmers who do organic farming directly. So we can send food from farm to their co-op or their shop in the city with no middle person. It will be very cheap price. So city people have to organize themselves and then connect with farmer. In this way, we will rely on each other. Self-reliant is doesn't mean we need to do everything ourselves. We need to do what we like, what we love only. And the main thing is we need to rely on each other too. Self-reliant, if we do everything ourselves, we don't call self-reliant. We call isolation ourselves. So to be self-reliant is there are many levels in the personal level, family level, and community level. So if we rely on ourselves like this, we'll be happy. Our life will be easy. Self-reliant means not rely on the big system, not rely on the big company, but we rely on ourselves more and more. So even you are in this big city, no problem. You can be happy. You can make easy life in this way. Oh, that's the question. How I,
Okay, so
yeah.
okay, there's one question from actually I want to ask how you empower and influence the community around to connect with Israel.
The signal is not very good.
Okay,
So the question is
can
how
you hear
to,
me?
yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
So the question, can you
Question
read?
is how you empower and yeah,
How can I empower the
yes,
communities? Okay.
yes,
Normally, we don't need to do much. We don't need to work a lot to change other people. We just change ourselves first. When we change ourselves, the community gonna change. When they see that it's something possible, it's something that easy, people love it. So I have a lot of experience in the past that I tried to organize organic farmer in my village. I spent 2 years talking, and then take them to do study tour, to seminar, to meeting, but none of them want to do organic farming. They love it, they like it, but none of them want to do it. But when I stopped talking, but I start doing it. I start to do it. The first time they look down on me a lot. How can you do it? I don't think you can do it. You're crazy. How can you farming with no chemical? But when I harvest my rice, when I harvest my garden, they can see that I get more than them and I get better price than them. So after that, many people want to come and join with me. So I think when we do something, show something in practical way, it's easier than talking. So this is the way that I influence communities.
So it's more to give example rather than just words
Yeah,
like that. Okay.
yeah.
So there's another question from Bahar Buasan. Uh, the question is in case we have a piece of land, how to grow awareness to other people to participate in doing the planting or to cultivate the land to increase the productivity to our well-being. I think it's almost similar with the first questions. Is that how to grow awareness to so that people can participate to do plant to gardening and
I think normally normal farmer they will grow only one or two kind of crops in their farm, and then all of them end up in debt. They maybe get profit some, but nobody get profit more than 3 years or three crops in a row. It never happened. But when we change our way of farming, we grow more than 30 varieties of plant in our area. We design our land to have more things, have fruit trees, have garden, have forest, have rice field, have fish pond. When we start to change our land like this, neighbor want to come and ask to harvest the vegetable from us. So this is the way they understand that, oh, you did not work so much, but you can have a lot of yield. You can harvest so many things in your land. That's so easy. So when people see this thing, it changed people a lot. It changed people very quick after that. So at least when they came to visit us, they can eat whatever we have. They can eat passion fruit, they can eat mulberry, they can eat longan, they can eat mango, they can eat many things, papayas, everything. So when they came and then they experience this thing, they want to have it. So it helped them to change their mind to not do farming in the old way that they used to do. And then they want to try this technique more. I think that's the way we do here.
okay. There's another question from Haji Hassan. How we involve the local community when we are the newcomers to that area, which we are not originally from there. How to gain their trust initially. So yeah.
If we are new, like when we start Pan Pan, I'm very new to this place. I don't know anybody in this village. I came and then I bought a piece of land. I don't know people at all. So what we did is we start to grow things more, and then we start to give vegetable, give fruit, give things to people nearby. So giving is the most important thing in the beginning. When we can get things from us, we share more, they will trust us more. So far, we don't have much problem with people around. A lot like other people have problem with thief. There many things were stolen from their farm, but for us, we have very little. We have few problem with this so far. And then the village nearby us, they cannot have fish in the pond because some people stole the fish in the night time. But for us, we are okay. I think we have less problem when we share more with other people nearby.
So creating a good relationship with the neighbors is the key, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, is there any other question from participants here? Go ahead, don't be shy. You can ask. Oh, there's one. So it's from Dian Armanda, Mbak Dian. Uh, the the question is, could you explain more about what is actually your seed saving activity that you have done? Do you only save certain kinds of seeds, and are you sharing your seeds for free too?
We save all kind of vegetable seeds. because in Thailand, not many people save vegetable seeds. Mainly it's in the hand of the company. We have some group who save rice varieties, seeds, but not many people save vegetable seeds. So I think we are the first group who start to do this part. And then the way we save is we collecting seed from everywhere that we found that is local, it's not hybrid seed. So when we got the seed, we plant them to see is a local seed or hybrid seed or not to prove it again. If we found that is non-hybrid seed, we start to propagate more and give for free to people. We never sell seed here. We encourage people to sell seed, but we don't sell seed ourselves. So many people start to got seed from us, and then they plant them. Many of them start to give seed for free. So it become something fun for many groups now to have seed to give to each other more and more. Some people open the coffee shop or open bakery, and then they came to the farm and they got the seed from us. They plant the vegetable in the backyard and then they harvest the seed and they give free seed at the coffee shop or bakery or restaurant. So customers come more and more. So it's a tool to connect with people. This is the way we are doing now. And then saving seeds it's not only saving seeds. We need to save the technique, how to use them too, how to eat them too. So we do a lot of training, a lot of activity to bring back the old way of cooking that they use all varieties of seed, of food to eat. I think this is very fun thing and make more and more people come back to use indigenous seeds more. And then when they start to eat local seed, local food from local seed, they compare the taste. They found that it's so different. Like a chicken from the farm, from the factory farm, it's so bland, so tasteless. But chicken from the village tastes better, a lot yummier. So they know that it's special. That's why more and more people start to do seed saving now in Thailand. With this technique, we can give away more and more seed every year, especially in the COVID-19. We gave seed away in 1 month, more than 10,000 packages in 1 month. So a lot of letters every day come. So that show that people start to aware what happened with seeds.
So actually, saving seeds also saving culture, the local
Yeah.
culture.
Mhm.
Very interesting. And there's another question from Rian. So I'd like to know, is there any kind of support from local government to your farm? So do you work
We
alone or people help you also?
we never get any support from the government, and then we never ask for funding from anywhere. We work on ourselves. We rely on ourselves almost, I think, 100%. We never write proposal to ask for funding from anywhere. But we live together, we work together, we grow our own food, we have the shop, we have products to sell, we do training, leftover money from training, and then from the products, we bring together and then we use it for saving seeds mainly, and then to use in our communities. So far, 17 years, we never ask for funding from outside. We just rely on ourselves pretty much.
And then what is the, but they, I mean, the government also aware of your farm, right?
Yeah.
And then what, have you heard about what their opinion about your activities like that?
Um, the government, they don't care much about what we are doing because it look like some tiny thing, some small activity in the village. So they don't care much. But there are many government officials, they're like personal interest. They will come and ask for seat from us. So they come in person, not in the government level. So there are more and more people come now. Even business people, they interested about seed saving. Now there's a rich man in Bangkok. He bought a big piece of land in the city, and then he started to grow rice and do farming in the middle of Bangkok now. So he came to us, and then he got help from us too. So that's changing.
So, I heard you also have your some. I mean, the reason you're also doing farming also come from the king, the Thailand uh, king at the time, and who,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
King Ramanai, he thought, he think about Thailand should not be the developed country. We should not be the very developed country. That's what he said. He said we have to be self-sufficiency country, because if we are very developed, we will collapse soon. Because anything it go up high, you cannot go all the time. You need to come down. But if you are in the level that you sustain yourself, you can live longer. So he said, we don't need to think about to be rich, but we need to think about we need to have enough to eat, enough to live, enough to spend to use in our life. So he taught about new theory of farming. New theory of farming is about stop growing cash crops, stop growing monocrops, and then design our new land to have pond collecting water as much as we can. How can we save rainwater every drops in our land? Put it down underground. Don't let it flow out. So keep the water underground. So we will have water to use all year round. And then we have pond, we have gardening, we have garden, we have animal, we have fruit trees, we have forest, we have rice field. If we have designed our land like this, it's no way that we will suffer. No way we will be starving. So we will have more than we need. If we have more than we need, we can share to other people. If we have more than that, we can save it, process them, preserve them for the crisis time. And if we have more than that, we can sell. Sell is very end of it. If we cannot sell them all, we can do networking to help to sell more. This is the theory of sufficiency economy that the king taught us. So many people start to come back now because of the crisis. Make people see this thing very clear now. The more you develop with no roots, the more it's vulnerable. It's not stable anymore. We have money, a lot of money, but if the money collapses, what will happen? We're gonna die because we cannot eat money. Money just turned to a paper or number. So now more and more people from the city came back home. They start to dig the pond, dig the canal, dig the swell, save water, and then start to grow more trees. Last 2 years, people all over Thailand grow so many trees. Each province, they have the seedling center from the government, the Royal Forestry Department. They have the seedling to give for free. Many 100,000 seedling per each province. But last year, only 3 days, all the seedling disappear from everywhere. It's very interesting to see the big change when people come back home and then they start to plant their new land and then start to grow more trees. Tree is more secure than rice, more secure than rubber or palm trees. When we have the forest, Forest can make more income than palm forest or rubber plantation. So, because if we have forest, there are many variety of tree in the forest. We can harvest so many things, many roots from underground, many vegetable, many fruit tree, even hardwood will turn to our pension when we retire. So it make people see more secure in this way.
Okay, there's another question from Kandi. Uh, Glad to meet you in person, John. I believe this pandemic gives us a great opportunity to shift to a more holistic way of living. What do you think is the most important thing that we have to start, the first step, and to make the transitions? What is the best way to make the shift individually and collectively as a community?
You mean start to to work on a farm?
Into more a holistic way of living.
Ah,
Uh,
yeah. The first thing to start is just to prepare our mind to understand that we are going to this direction. If we feel sure that we want to go to this direction, we will have more confidence. And then don't worry about the skill, don't worry about knowledge. When we start to do things, we start to understand more and more and more. So don't worry about, oh, I have no experience, I have no thing before. But when we start to do, we will learn very quick from what we are doing. So the first thing is just think about food, about our health first. In our life, our body, our health is number one. So how can we take care of our life first? That means we need to think about food first. What we like to eat, what will make us have enough food. So just make the list of what we like to eat and then collect them and then start to plan what we like to eat first. And then after that, think about what people normally eat and make another list and then collect them and then grow everything in the small area. Don't need to be big. Grow in a small area just enough for our labor, our ability to take care of it. Don't make it big, too big. If it's too big, it will be disaster. It will waste our time. So make it enough, and then we can see how it grow after that. So when we start to grow food, we will see that, oh, it's so easy to have food to feed ourselves. Why we need to work 8 hours per day and don't have enough to eat? We will see this thing immediately after that. So start to think about food first, and then after that, we have more than we need, we can sell them. Don't think about growing something for sale first. Many people think about where is the market first. So when we think about the market first, we always end up with in debt. But when we think about our food first, we end up with have more money than we need. This is what happened. So don't worry about money. Just worry about our health first. Money will come after that. Even we don't want it, it will come. So that's the way I learned.
yeah. Okay, another question is from Ovanya. John, I know you since 2017. When did you decide to go back to TEDx?
Your voice disappeared a little bit. It freeze now.
Can you hear me? Or
Okay, it's better. You're back now. Yeah. Can
so
you?
okay. So the question is, since when you start doing this way of life, and what do you worry about the most? What do you worry about the most? The life that Tijo
I
uh,
start. I start to
Fanya,
live.
can you? Yeah.
I start to live in this way about 28, 29 years ago, quite long time, the most worried thing in at that time was when I get sick, what will happen if I have no money? This is the most worry for me at that time. But I started uh, come back and think about why I have to worry about sickness so much. Because in the beginning, when I quit my job, doesn't mean I have no income, no insurance. When I get sick, if I live alone in the village, when I get sick, what will happen? So this is the most problem at that time. I try to contemplate deeply. Why do we afraid of sickness? When sickness is normal thing in our life, even you have money or have no money, even you have insurance or no insurance, you still get sick and die. We are not different. So to think like this, it make me think about if I try to work in the city very hard to make money to buy good insurance and to have saving, I will get sick faster and more because I work harder. I don't have enough time to rest. But if I came back home, I grow my own food with no chemical, no hormone. I have a good food and I don't need to work a lot. So my health will be better. I will get sick less and less than before, than normal people. So to think like this, it makes me feel more relaxed after that. So after that, I start to do gardening. When I start the garden, only 3 months, I just think about to have the garden just to feed my family. But after 3 months, I discovered that we cannot eat all of them. I grow only 5 chilies plant in my garden, but I cannot eat even one single plant because it's spicy. And then the rest I have to sell. And every day I make more income than when I was in the city. So that's changed my mind completely after that. And then I have no fear, no worry about sickness anymore after I discover like this way of living.
Yeah, I think when people start to change their life into more simple, I think the first thing that we need to overcome is the, being not having enough money for everything, because
Yeah,
maybe some people just don't have skills to grow foods, and also the risk is too big for them because they would lose perhaps everything, and then they need to start all over again. So yeah, I think many people also, when they ask me why you start farming, you can actually use the land to rent to others and get a regular income. Yeah, when I first start farming, I never think about that. I mean, it's not so risky at the time, but now I think, yeah, it's quite risky because I have kids, and I have to get income to to give all that they need. Maybe if I start farming before after I have kids, maybe I will think twice. But oh, good thing is that I start early when my kids are still baby. So there's another question, Pijo, from
yeah.
Wina. I wonder, how do you catch and store energy? Do you still pay electricity bill? Uh,
I still use electricity from the grid. I still pay the bill, but it's not a lot because we use solar cell here and we use biodiesel also to pump the water. But in the daytime, in the nighttime, we just use the light from the grid. So we rely on the village too. because it's still cheap in Thailand to use electricity from the grid. So, but to use solar cell, if we use battery, it's more expensive than use electricity because government did not support alternative energy much here. So it's still expensive.
So how do you get the money to pay the electricity?
We got money left over from training and from the shop that we have or sell products. So we we have enough for that. Yeah.
So I think that's the answer for Wina. Hope you can get the answer right. So actually, I have another question for you. It's about the seeds again. Uh, Many scientists think that genetically modified seeds is a solution to feed population, world population, and they always say that this is it could help those who in poverty and hunger situation could save their life. So what do you think about that? What do you think about the GMO seeds like that?
It's it's a lie because GMO seed is more expensive than normal seed 4 to 10 times in many countries, like in India. GMO cotton seed more expensive than hybrid seed or local seed 10 times. And then those seed, they produce a lot, but you need to give them a lot of food too. That means you need to buy a lot of fertilizer for them. So when you get high yield, a lot, that means you invest more money in it. And then if many people grow the same thing with very high yield, the price of the products will go down. So people will be in debt more. Actually, local seeds, if we develop it good enough, we have the same yield with GMO seeds. Many of them we can make it more, even more. But GMO seed, it doesn't help to solve the hunger in the world. It's impossible because you invest more money to grow the same amount of food, more money than local way, the technique. So even in America now, you can see like why so many farmers in America have to commit suicide. American farmer commit suicide 5 times more than every career in America. That's CDC of America uh, study last few years. So they grow a lot of GM food there, but they have more problem than us. So I don't think GM food will be help people to have more food to eat. Instead, it make people have less food to eat because when people start to grow GM food, they grow less local varieties. When we have less local variety, that means we are not secure anymore. Diversity is security. So when we grow only GM food, GM seeds, GMO seeds, they will grow all over everywhere. Because if people grow something in the same family with those plants, they're gonna cross-pollinate, and you will be sued in the court. You need to be in trouble. So it forces people to grow the same thing in the big area. So this thing is big benefit for the company because they will get very cheap grains, very cheap products produced for their industry. So farmer will suffer more. I don't see anywhere that people grow GMO seed and then there's success in their farming. So far, I went to India, I went to Europe, I went to many places. I didn't see anywhere that they feel like they make sustainable income from it. Mainly every country that they accept GMO food, they need a lot of subsidies from government to make them survive. No country with no subsidies when they grow GMO seeds.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you about that, because I think I met some people who still think that this is a good idea to create super seeds that could survive through like many. They can live in any kind of situation. They can grow in any kind of situations. But of course, there's a monopoly behind it. So yeah, it's not a good solution.
Yeah.
So there's another question. Is from Garini Sabila Lestari. May I know what are your biggest challenge and also biggest joy in developing pan farming? Pan.
The biggest challenging is we have so many people want to come. So it's hard for us because we don't want to refuse anybody. Many people want to come and stay with us, but we don't want it to be too big. So if it's too big, it's more management. We want to have many small things, but we don't want to have a big thing. So that's the first thing. I feel like it's hard because I know that everybody want to come and learn for a long time, but it's hard for us too. So that's the most challenging thing for us. And then what the joyful to be at Pan Pan is we learn so much every day. We understand new thing every day because everybody have freedom to do anything. So everybody experiment things all the time. Even cooking, every day you eat different food. Different people cook different things. So we learn so much. Farming, 10 people do farming, they have 10 technique, 10 ways of farming. So we learn so much from everybody because we are learning center. So everything we do, we just learn from it. So we don't care about fail or success. We care about what did we learn today? What is the most interesting knowledge today? What is the most thing that we understand it today? So this part is more, it becomes joys for us.
There's another question. We have so much question. This one is from Aji Hassan. Uh, Hi John, still related to your answer uh, about the transitioning in this situation. Somehow it's very relatable to me as I just quit my job and risk everything to pursue this new way of life. I know this is a very personal question, but I believe I'm not the only one. Do you have any tips or advice to make us feel rest assured about about yeah about to move or to change the way of life?
The most important thing is don't let fear control us. Just keep doing it. Whatever we are afraid of it, do that thing first. Don't afraid of thing that we don't run away from fear. Whatever you afraid of it, do it. Do it with consciousness in our inside us. Observe and experiment is the main thing. Observe and experiment. There's no recipe for us, for everybody, because every theory it work well in some area but not work well in some area. So it's good to experiment, to discover things by ourselves. So observe and experiment is the main thing. Don't let fear control us, and then keep doing. Don't stop. Even it fail, keep doing. Try new way and keep doing. If we keep walking, one day we will get there.
Oh, thank you so much, Video. So is there any other questions?
Yes, Kanita,
Okay,
um,
Fanya.
from Winartanya.
Oh,
How do
which
you preserve the seeds?
Sorry.
how do you preserve the seeds technically?
Oh,
Yeah.
how do we preserve the seeds? Normally, when we harvest the seed, we divide seed into 3 groups. The first group is dry seeds, like the seed that dry in the pot, like a corn, uh, mustard green, bean, uh, lettuce, or anything that dry from the pot. So we separate them and clean them well and put in a package and then keep in refrigerators. So even have no bugs eat them. And the second kind of seed is wet seed, like a pumpkin seed, eggplant, chilies. So we collect the good one, the very ripe one, and clean the seed very well, and then dry them in the shade. And then when it dry for a few days, we put in the package and then save in refrigerators. Chili seed may be hard because it's spicy. So the easiest way, just put the seed in the blender, put the ripe chili, not dry chili, fresh ripe chili in the blender and add 3 times of water in the blender and blend jit. And then when the shell broke, we can let it ferment for a week at least. So let the spiciness decompose. And then we pour it out. The good seed will sink in the bottom. Anything float, pour it out. And then clean it until there's no smell, because if it fermented for a week, it will be very strong smell. So when we clean it very well, we can dry them in the shade for 5 days and then keep them in a package. So the last group is the seed with jelly wrapped around, like a papaya seed, tomato seed, or passion fruit seed. There's a jelly wrapped around the seed. This kind of seed, we need to soak at least 3 weeks or 1 month at least. So to make the jelly decompose first, and then we do the same thing with wet seed, like add more water and stir it. Let the good seed sink in the bottom. Anything we don't want will float on top. We just pour it out and then clean it until no smell, and then dry them in the shade, and then keep in refrigerators after that. All the seed need to be dry in the shade only. Don't dry in the sunlight because of the germination rate going to drop faster than normal. And then when the seed totally dry, keep in the nice packaging, close it tight, and then put in refrigerators. Most of vegetable seeds, if we keep outside vegetable, or if we keep outside of the refrigerator, it will last only 1 year at most. After that, they will not germinate anymore. So to keep in refrigerator, it extends the age of the life of seed longer, up to 10 years in refrigerators. So whenever we have seed, don't leave it outside. Keep it in refrigerators. Whenever you want to plant them, just take some and then plant them.
So, what is the temperature? It should be like in the freeze temperature, or
Any temperature in refrigerator is fine. Even the freezer or in a normal room is fine in the refrigerators.
oh, okay. Thank you so much. So, is there any other questions? Uh, anyone? I think they are trying to digest all the information that you share today. Yeah,
There's a
actually, I
question.
just okay.
There's a question from Fatan.
Oh, okay. Hello, John. It's from Fatan. Nice to meet you. I want to ask, what do you think about urban society who have very small land or small area to grow up their own food? Do you think they can still fulfill the basic nutrition needs such as carbohydrate, fiber, protein without buying?
Yeah, I think people who live in the city, in urban, they, if they like farming, if they love it, they can do farming in the city easily by growing in a pot or change the rooftop into green roof or something like that. They can do it. They can grow enough. Only the roof of one house, if we change into living roof, we can grow enough to feed more than 2 families in the city. But if they don't like to do farming, don't try to do farming. It's not very fun. If you like it, it will be very fun. If you don't like it, it's good to connect it with farmer outside directly. There must be some farmer group somewhere who do organic farming. Connect with them directly, and then you can order things from them. Like in Thailand now, it's very convenient to order anything from all over the country. Even we live in Chiang Mai, we can order fresh seafood from the fishermen directly to Chiang Mai, northern of Thailand, in 1 or 2 days in the ice box. So we can get very cheap price in this way. So to rely on each other is quite important. So city people, if they like to do farming, they can plan around. Or the easiest thing to do for city is sprouting or microgreen. Sprouting and microgreen is so cheap and easy to do. You can get very good fresh, and then everything is very healthy for you, easily and fast. Sprouting and microgreen is so easy. That's another choice for city people.
There's always way, as long as you like gardening, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, it just make network with farmers, local farmers like that.
yeah. Mhm.
Uh, yeah. Before we ask, you still wait another question, but I have another question for you. Uh, the natural building movement that you initiate. I think you're one of the first person in Thailand who introduced Adobe House in Thailand. And today, when I write down the keyword natural building in Thailand, yeah, so many people already offering workshop, training, how to build a Adobe house like that. So, do you think you're quite success uh, in introducing the mud house to Thai people?
I think it's worked very well so far. It helped many people who want to have a house, but normally they're hopeless in a normal way. But when they learn about earthen building, they can make very fancy house with very cheap, very small amount of money easily. And then it's more stable. It make them feel confident more. I think it worked well. And then the idea is spreading all over the country now. Each year, many thousand people build with Adobe House in Thailand every year now. So I think it's growing fast in Thailand. And then that's why I stopped, because more people can do it. So it's time for me to rest.
Okay, still waiting for the questions. Uh, is there any other question from participants here? Uh, Come on, you can. It's the time to ask directly to John Jandai. Okay, there's another one. It's from Akbar Muhammad. How do you maintain or control disease on livestock and farm?
Mainly, if we create the environment to be more natural or more balanced, we have less sickness. Like a chicken, we have chicken, but if we feed them with grass, with herbs, with thing natural more than factory food, they have less problem with health. Uh, so fish is the same thing. If we don't feed them with factory food, they grow slower, but they're healthier, and then it's cheaper for us too. So when we have animal, we don't have a lot of problem with disease or things like that. Except when we grow them in the bad condition, they will always have problem.
Hmm. Another question: how many people live in Panpan community right now?
Now it's 20 people live together, including kids. We have about 5 kids now. So adults maybe 15 so far.
And all the kids are homeschooling, right?
Yes, yes, we do homeschooling pretty much here. We like it a lot because it's better, cheaper, easier, and then the kids more happy.
Of course. Yeah, interesting that when you try to address the issue of education, that first is actually try to separate children from the family since the young age. Uh, is that so bad to you? I mean, the education system that's now quite popular everywhere.
Homeschooling,
No, I mean the like formal school.
a formal school. Yeah, people mainly the majority of people still trust in the formal school because it's fit with their lifestyle more because they need to work a lot. But for people who uh, want to invest more in their kids, so these people will quit their job and then they start to do homeschooling for their kids. So these people, they are more happy, and then there are more and more people want to quit their job for their kids now in Thailand, and at least one person work and one person be with the kid. I think it's very beautiful way of living, and then the kids grew up very nice and very healthy, and then they are uh, uh, more alive. Most of kids, when they went to school, they were forced to study so much. They are like a robot, actually. They cannot think much. They cannot enjoy much. They cannot play much because they don't know how to play anymore. But homeschool kid is quite different. So when people see the difference between both way, many people love homeschool now.
Another question is from Alfer Waluyo. Uh, what training do you have there at Panpan? Uh,
What
any?
training?
Yes, trainings and
Oh,
workshop perhaps.
normally we have self-reliant training. Is in every month we have at least 1 or 2 workshop to training, one training per month every month. And then after that we have training about the designing course, design how to design your farm,
Oh,
how to decide what to grow, where to dig ponds, things like that, how to save water. So this is another course that we have here, and then people love it a lot because many people who quit their job and who want to change their life to live in the farm more, they want to know where to start. So this course helped them a lot.
perhaps maybe later there will be a lot of Indonesian come to your place to learn,
Yeah.
but please don't stay. It's very interesting that you want to keep small because small would be will be work effectively rather than big. So
Yeah.
you mean that you encourage people to create another pan like that in Thailand. So
Yeah, we want people to do something similar to us or something different from us is okay. Just I want them to be themselves. I don't want to say that, oh, I'm second pan pan and the third pan pan, something like that. They need to be themselves, do in the way that they believe it. So it will create new idea, new technique, more and more. So we just become a model that this is a choice that we choose to live. So if they have another idea, they have to do it. So that's why we don't want it to be so big. Small is better. And then if it's big, we can have only one leader in the big communities. But if we have many small community, we have many leader. We have many people who do different things. That is security.
Another question from Andy Sutioso. John, could you tell us a little bit about how things are going in your farm during the pandemic? Do you have do you have to deal with big changes like us that live in big cities?
We don't have a lot of big chain here. Only we stop the course, training at the farm for 3 months, but we still live in the same way. We have fish in the pond, we have vegetable, we have fruit, we have rice, we have chicken, we have cows. So we did not have a big impact from those things. And then we still do products. We sell online quite a lot during the COVID-19. So we do more soap, more shampoo, more uh, processed food, more jam, more butter, things like that. And then we can make income in that way to sustain ourselves in the basic thing that we need to buy, uh, because we don't need to do everything ourselves. Many things we need to buy from outside, from network, from people who we know, to support each other more. So we need to use money to make things easy too.
Nice statement. Yeah, I think money is still important, but it's not everything, right?
Yeah, money
We don't
is
live just
important,
to
but money is
buy
not
money.
security. This is the most important thing. Money is not security. So that's why we don't save money. We use money, we work for money sometimes, but we don't save money for security because money will collapse today or tomorrow, we don't know. But to save natural resources is more secure than save money. To have land, to have good soil, to have trees, to have food, to have water. This thing is more secure than money. So we try to save natural resources and in communities. This part, I think, is more important than money. Even we have no money, but we're still okay. Like during the COVID-19, we don't feel like we have problem. Many Thai people feel like we have no problem, like many countries in the world, because we came back home. We still have old way of living. Came back home, you have farm, you have rice, you have fish in the pond, you have fruit trees. So just come back home. It's relaxed time, like holiday for 4 months, 5 months holidays for many of them. Yeah.
It sounds so nice. I think your concept is almost similar. Because I've heard a concept about localization, which is actually the term that against globalization. So yeah, I think it's almost similar when we try to create a local community, try to go back to our own culture. Is that also what you're trying to do?
Yeah, to bring back the old wisdom and develop it to make it fit with our era. But it doesn't mean we go back to be this old way. We know we did not refuse anything, but we use it only when we really need it. We did not use it because of we like it or because of we addicted to it. So we use cell phone, we use computer, we use everything just to communicate in the important thing, in the necessary way. But we did not use it to entertain ourselves all the time. So this is the way we think, the way we live. So we did not refuse anything on this earth. We use everything, but we use it with consciousness. And then in the same time, we try to bring back the old wisdom to develop it more. Because old wisdom is more sustainable, but some of them, it can be a little bit harder and more complicated. And then we just develop it a little bit and then we use it again. So we try to bring back something like a joint force party in many places. I think it's very important thing in the past when people harvest the rice, grow rice, they just go help each other, 20 people, 30 people go, boom, finish in one day. It's so much fun. But after that, when people have more money, people don't care about each other much. So they ignore this thing. So we bring it back now. So now we have a lot of joy force party everywhere in Thailand. 100 people go together and dig a swell, dig a pond, change their life, change their field, and then grow a lot of trees in one day. So it's a lot of fun, and then it's very productive. It shows us that even we have no money, we can make a big thing also. We can finish the big project with no money.
Okay, another question from Akbar. How do you manage conflicts between community members in Panpan? Because every person has different, perhaps different characteristic, different way to communicate, perhaps. So, is there any way to manage it through leadership or egalitarian way? Is there hierarchy in Panpan?
Uh, we don't have leader, we don't have hierarchy. Everybody are the same. Everybody is equal. No leader, no supervisor, no manager, nothing. Everybody is the same. So we don't have a big conflict inside communities. We have some different thinking, different idea, but when they talk together, it just ended by itself. So the technique here, we just alternate people to do everything. Everybody have a chance to cook. Everybody have a chance to do gardening. Everybody have to do everything the same way. So when people do everything together, they understand the same problem. That's why we don't need to have meeting often. This way, I think it's more relaxed and everybody become leader by themselves because we have no leader. So it's decreased a lot of conflict in the communities. 17 years, we never have a big fight in the communities at all. They have a little bit of different thinking, but when they talk together, it just finished. They can solve the problem easily in this way. So I think when people know everything in the same level, we have less problem.
Oh, that's very interesting way to manage a community. No leader, no rules, perhaps, right?
Yeah,
Okay, but unfortunately, we're running out of time. So perhaps next time we can make another event like this.
yeah,
Perhaps we can visit Panpan, perhaps
yeah,
one day.
yeah.
So thank you very much, Pijo.
You're welcome.
It's very nice to hear a very at least to me your point of view is very inspiring, especially when I doing farming like this in the city. So I learned a lot from you. Thank you so much. And for all the participants here, thank you so much for your time. Please, I apologize if I make many mistakes during this event. Uh, and take care and goodbye, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for organizing this too. See you soon.
See you, Pijo.
Okay.
Uh, before we leave, sorry, before we leave, let's take a picture together
Okay.
first. Yeah,
Oh, we're going to take picture first, Pijo.
Oh,
yeah, before we leave. So if you please, for our participant to turn on the camera, it's a rare moment to meet John. Let's save this moment. Okay. Wait. Wait. Okay. Yeah. I'll count 1, 2, 3 and give smile. Okay.
yeah.
1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
With the COVID-19 calm down, welcome everyone. Maybe I can visit Indonesia sometime.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you, John.
Thank you
John.
so much.
Thank you, Kang Misbah.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Makasih Mas Misbah dan Kak Fanya.
Thank you.
Bahar langsung masuk di foto.
Fatan tadi udah di record ya? Udah aman kan ya?